It's Anna and Tucker, and today we have a special video for you. We are on the USC campus at the LA Times Festival of Books.
Specialty book.
Yeah.
You could probably find it in some stores. It's about sideshow collectibles.
Okay.
All the Star Wars stuff, everything from sculpting to painting. Yeah, it's a beautiful book.
Oh wow! That's amazing.
I used to approve. Yeah.
You used to work for LucasArts?
Yes, Lucasfilm in the Bay Area. Yeah.
And what's your name?
I'm Chris.
Chris, I'm Anna.
Samuel.
It's nice to meet
Samuel
you.
Christopher, but
okay.
Not to confuse you, but.
Yes, please do. And it's also for a raffle for one of the special editions.
I'm going to take one as well. I'm just waiting for them to have their moment.
Thank you. Would you like it? Thank you. Have a nice day.
What's the most
Okay.
On the bookmark.
Yeah.
My website's on there.
This learns about loss, but he also learns that they're going to be with you forever, no matter who it is that you lose, and they're going to stay in your heart. And that's the real feelings right there.
14, nice long life. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take one.
Oh, thank you. $20 cash, Venmo, or Zelle. A portion of the proceeds go to no-kill rescue shelters. So
Let's see.
the first of the copies. Online, it's just pre-order.
So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the tour of the festival today. I had a great time taking you around and showing you. Hey guys, I'm home now, and so I thought I would take a few moments and go over kind of what I thought of my experience at the festival. I'm sorry that there wasn't more footage from the actual festival. I tried really hard to get a lot of footage, but I was so wrapped up in the experience. My partner and I kept forgetting to turn on the camera and record a little bit, but I hope you got a taste of what was available. The Festival of Books was actually a 2-day festival, but I only went on the second day. I only went on Sunday. I wasn't able to go on Saturday, unfortunately. And I was only there for a few hours with my family, but I think we had a great time. I came home with quite a few treasures, I think, that I'm going to share with you in just a few minutes. But I just wanted to kind of go over my experience and some of the authors that were there that unfortunately I didn't get a chance to see, but maybe next time I will plan ahead better and get some tickets to some of those talks that they did. This was the 30th annual LA Times Festival of Books, and this was my first time going. I hadn't actually heard of it before, I think like 2 months ago. I was just looking for different kind of book events that I could possibly go and film at for you guys, and I came across this one. It was within driving distance for me, and I figured it would be fun to take my family as well. The way this event works is that, as you can see from the footage, there's lots of different vendors and different independent bookstores. There were authors with their own tents. There were authors that were there in publisher tents or affiliated with independent bookstores. There were all kinds of things. This being on the USC campus, which by the way is my alma mater. A lot of the authors that were there actually gave talks on various topics having to do with the entire range of kind of the creative process when it comes to writing a book. A lot of the talks were ticketed events that you had to buy tickets for in advance, and unfortunately I wasn't really able to plan it such that I could get any of these tickets, so I didn't really see any of those. There were some talks that were being given on stage that I could have seen just free, kind of just being there. And by the way, to go to this event and walk through the vendors and everything, it is completely free. The only portion that you have to pay for is, of course, parking, because you always have to pay for parking in LA. I don't know anywhere that's free parking. And the ticketed events, and I don't really know how much the ticketed events are, but they're, you know, taking place throughout Saturday and Sunday. I think they most of them looked to be about an hour long or so. And then I heard that many of the authors that were doing the ticketed events were also doing book signings afterwards. I did see several tents that said they were book signing tents specifically for the authors that were giving the various talks. I didn't really see any authors that I recognized at the time. That doesn't mean that they weren't there. I'm sure that they were. The authors that were there were a mixture of traditional and independent authors, and then there were also several celebrities that were there as well who have come out with memoirs, I think in the last year or so. And so to give you an idea of the names that were there, I'm not going to give you every single name because one, there were a lot of authors that I didn't recognize, and two, there were like hundreds of authors there, so I can't possibly go through all the names, but I will give you some of the ones that I recognized and that I thought were pretty big. In the footage from the festival, there was a picture of an actress doing a signing. That actress was Jenny Slate, and she came out with a memoir recently, and so she was signing autographs for her memoir. And then also in the footage, I was able to get a picture or two of Katie Roberts doing her book signings as well. I didn't actually get a chance to speak to her and get anything signed by her because the lines to get your book signed were incredibly long. And so I didn't really have enough time. Some of the other authors that were there are Victoria Aveyard, Kristen Ciccarelli, Amanda Gorman, Melissa De La Cruz, Nikki Ehrlich, Josh Gad, Max Greenfield, Lev Grossman, Chelsea Handler, Callie Hart, Allie Hazelwood, TJ Clune, Marie Liu, Shannon Messenger, Kate Messner, Ransom Riggs, Kristen Ritter, Veronica Roth, Pam Munoz Ryan, V.E. Schwab, Wilmer Valderrama, and Rebecca Yaros. So some of those names are quite big in publishing right now. I know some of them are very trendy authors on booktube and bookstagram and book talk and all those wonderful places, and I'm really sad that I didn't get to see some of those authors. I actually had brought a copy of Kristen Ciccarelli's Heartless Hunter to get signed, again because I already have a signed copy, but it's like not personalized, so I was going to ask her to personalize it. And I had brought a book by Nikki Ehrlich, The Measure, that I read recently that I really loved, to get signed. And I think I brought one other book, I can't remember which one, for another author. And I didn't get a chance to see any of these authors. My daughter has a few books by Melissa De La Cruz. She has the Descendants books that were written several years ago, and so she brought those ones in the hopes that she could get some signatures, and it just didn't happen, unfortunately. But that's okay, we still had a great time. So overall, I thought the event was really fun. It was really worthwhile to go to, and even though I didn't get to meet any of the big names that I just mentioned, I got to meet a lot of really cool independent authors and talk to them and get their signatures and support them by purchasing their books. And so that was very, very exciting for me. The one thing that I will say was kind of a big con of the festival is that part of the reason I couldn't find any of these authors is because I couldn't figure out where they were. There was a guide available, there was a map, there were info booths. I actually stopped at 2 of them to ask where some of these authors might be, and nobody really knew. It was very, very difficult to figure out where people would be after they were giving talks or before they were giving talks or anything outside of where they were scheduled to give their talk, which was all campus-wide. And if you've ever been to the campus of USC, it is gigantic. There were thousands and thousands of people there, and so it was really hectic, it was really crowded. And so unfortunately, I was sad that I couldn't find where I wanted to go, but that's okay. I ended up finding some real gems anyways, all on my own. Okay, so now let's move on to the haul portion of the book festival, and I'll show you some of the cool things that I got. So I got this nice canvas bag for purchasing a book through a independent bookstore. I thought this was really neat, very nice. It's very sturdy, so I will be enjoying that for a while. The book that I purchased in order to get that bag is called The Disclosure Paradox, and it is by Paul G. Viquiet. I am probably butchering that name. I'm so sorry if I am. Unfortunately, the author was not present to sign this particular book, and I actually got this book for one of my boys who took a look at it in the rack and said, that one looks super interesting. P.S. This is for the 8-year-old. So we'll see. He's quite the advanced reader, and he loves sci-fi things. So I don't know much about this book, just kind of what's on the back. It is a sci-fi book of some sort. In the vast expanse of the universe, many forms of life exist. The question has changed from, is there life on other planets, to who are these other sentient beings, and what do they want from us? So that gives you a little taste of what this book is about, and I'm sure it'll be great. One of the other books I got, there was some footage of in the festival footage. It is a fantasy novel by Emily Rank Hawthorne called Of Mountains and Seas. And this is an independently published book. It is absolutely beautiful. Here's the back. For some, the only way to possess magic is to steal it from others. And so the sides are painted, very pretty. Let's see. The end papers on the inside are gorgeous as well. Ooh, and the binding is beautiful. She really went all out on this book. It's gorgeous. And here's some of the end papers. Ooh, and they're not the same. They're different on each side. And I also noticed that there's this like cool title page here where it's so this is where it's signed with this dragon. It's like on vellum, so you know it's blank on this side, and then here's the print on the vellum side, but then it's kind of see-through. It's really pretty. And I'm very excited to get into this one. I'll probably actually read it this month. Oh, and if you're wondering, don't worry, I will include all of the author's information and anything that I purchased, any stores or anything like that, down in the description box so that you can check them out on your own if any of these kind of look interesting to you. Another book that I picked up isn't one that I necessarily plan on reading more than once or anything like that, but it is a children's book. It is called A Puppy's Tale by Grant Merritt, and this is another independently published book, an independent author who I spoke to, and there's some footage of that in the festival footage. But basically he wrote this book in honor of his dog that passed away sadly, had a good long life. So he dedicates this book to my beloved Achilles, who brought joy, love, and companionship into my life every single day. This story is my love letter to you, my best friend. You will always be my favorite, forever in my heart, Grant. And I just thought that the illustrations in here were so beautiful and cute. And of course, I love dogs, if you couldn't tell. And so I thought I should take the opportunity to support this book because it's beautifully done. And I think it can help kids understand loss and grief in a very healthy manner. And so I was happy to get this book. And then from another vendor, which I don't remember, unfortunately, the vendor's name, I actually bought two books. They were both for my kids. One is for my daughter. It is this cute little book called A Little Book of Self-Care for the College Bound, and it is by Jenny Marie Battiston. Unfortunately, the author was not there to speak to, but this book is just filled with little quotes and mantras and stuff. You know, there's a quote from Florence Nightingale: "Ignite the mind's spark to rise the sun in you. Go out to a show, music, improv, drama, or whatever is happening on campus this week. Try something new." Here's another one with like an image of a tea bag. And it says, "Find an evening routine and stick to it. Maybe it's a mug of tea, some calming music, and some light reading or journaling. Let your mind relax and power down before you try to sleep." So my daughter likes these little books of quotes and motivational things. I think they really help her. And so I thought this would be great for her. my son is super into Star Wars, and I think this book is like the most awesome book ever. But it is a coffee table book, really, but it's Star Wars, Collecting a Galaxy, The Art of Sideshow. And it is by Samuel C. Spittail. And it is a beautiful book. It's very heavy, actually, but it's got wonderfully detailed pictures here. Oops, don't know what that was. And so he really has been enjoying looking through this book. Here's the back. It's really great. Anything I can do to encourage reading, I don't really care what form it's in. All forms are fantastic, in my opinion. So a book to read that my daughter picked out is by another independent author. I don't really know much about this. The cover and the story kind of just really appealed to her. This is called Magdalena by Candy Sari. Let's see. In a small, secluded town that thrives on gossip and superstition, Dottie offers plenty of both when the scandal breaks about a missing girl, a ghost, and the affair that started it all. Having suffered a history of miscarriages, reclusive Dottie develops a strange motherly interest in her 15-year-old neighbor, Magdalena. Somewhere between fantasy and reality, Dottie finds new life in her relationship with the mysterious girl. But Dottie's entanglements with Magdalena, a curious centenarian, a compelling stranger, an ex-mobster, and a murder of crows thrusts this once cloistered woman into a frenzy of public scrutiny. To quell the rumors, Dottie puts pen to paper and discovers something as frightening as it is liberating: her voice. And so just in the binding there were a couple of bookmarks here. I think this is the same one, yeah. And then the last book that I purchased, I'm also very excited about. It is called I See You've Called In Dead by John Kenny. And this book is about a middle-aged man who writes obituaries for a living, who gets drunk one night and decides to write and publish his own obituary. But he is clearly not dead, and so the next day he has to start dealing with the repercussions of publishing his own obituary, even though he's not dead. And so I think this is going to be quite a humorous story. I spoke with the author, John Kenny, for several minutes. I didn't get any of that on video, unfortunately, but there is a picture from the footage of him signing this book, and he is a really funny, entertaining guy, and so I'm sure that this book will be just as good as speaking to him. And he actually made a deal with me that if I didn't like the book, I could email him and he would send me a check for the amount that I paid for the book. So I'll have to read it and see and decide if I like it or not. But honestly, even if I don't like it, I don't think I have enough gumption to email an author and say, hey, read your book, didn't like it, I'd like my money back, please. I don't think I could do that. That just seems like really rude to me. I don't know. What do you think? If an author gave you that deal, would you take it? If you didn't like the book, would you email them and say, hey, cut me that check you said you'd cut me? Let me know in the comments. And so the last couple of books that I have to share with you are books that were just being handed out for free, so I don't really know anything about them. They just handed them to me and said, here, free books. So I said, okay. The first one is called The Hornet's Spell. Both of these books are by the same author. They're by Rich Shapiro. Again, I don't know anything about this book. It says, love is a portal to another world. You're sinking, Danny, sinking deeper, descending into the hornet's spell. The striped queen, this strange being, knows your mind. She knows what you're seeking. Into a state far deeper than waking, the realm of sleep, of dream, of unleashed imagination, deeper and deeper. That's it. That's all I know about this book. And then the other one, also by Rick Shapiro, is called Hibiscus Mask. The back of this says, "Love has two faces." So I don't know, I may read these. I'm a little wary of free books. Like, it kind of makes me wonder, why are you handing these out for free? But, you know, they might be great. You never know. And so the last thing that I got is actually not a book per se. It is a bookish item, and I included some footage of this particular booth towards the end of the festival footage because the booth was just amazing. It was the little miniature bookshelves and little miniature books. I got this little glass bottle of a miniature Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone with the original cover on it. And the coolest thing is on the inside, there is actually very small text. It is literally like a replica of the book. And so I thought it was just really, really cool. And I had to have one. So if you're wondering, this is from Storykeeper Studio, by the way. I'll put all the information for all of this below in the description box, so you can check out everything on your own if you want. And that's it. Those are the things that I brought home from the festival. Again, I had a wonderful time, and this is a yearly event. I think they went extra big this year because it was their 30th anniversary, and so I don't know if it's this big every year or not, but if you are going to be in the Southern California area, or you live in the Southern California area sometime in April next year and you want to check it out, I think it is very much worth going to and checking out. I think the authors that come change every year, and you can find a list of the authors and the vendors that are going to be there a couple of months in advance on the LA Times website. Let me know if you like this kind of video, the kind of like shooting on location at different bookish events. I'd be happy to look and see if there are any more that I could take you guys to. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I really, really appreciate it. If you like this video and you like my channel, please feel free to like and subscribe. Again, I love all of the support that I receive from you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again soon.